world was young, the mountains green, no stain yet on the moon was seen.
Then with a crash came a great ringing shout, Ra, Ra.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
Talking about Tolkien, Ben.
Talking about Tolkien.
Chapter 5. A shortcut to mushrooms, a.k.a. Oregon, right? Is anyone laughing yet? No? Alright. It's a conspiracy unmasked, Ben.
Yeah, Chapter 5 is Conspiracy Unmasked. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The first thing I was going to say, to prevent any derailment, was...
You failed there.
I did fail there. Was there's no elves in this chapter. So don't ask me a question about elf history or elf biology or whether the gods like them more. We're not talking about elves today. So hopefully...
my final note was, does Frodo live forever in the West?
No!
I'll just...
That's not how the West works. We'll talk about it later.
The land of the free and the home of the brave, Ben.
So we're not talking about elves. So we're going to get out of here. I think this is going to be like 20 minutes tops.
It is a pretty short chapter.
Whatever the actual runtime is, I'm telling you right now.
Double it.
No, you know at this point, if you're listening to this, what the actual runtime is. I don't. So I'm going to say, I think we can get out of here in 30 minutes.
All right. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
How long have we already been...
Well, most of that's cut, so don't worry about it.
Okay. All right.
That doesn't count. Starting now.
Okay. Starting now. All right. So last time, they saw on the far... They got on the ferry. All right. Let's back up. They're on the ferry. They cross the river. And then on the far bank, they see one of the Black Riders. But unlike in the book, he's not afraid to get his horse's feet a little wet. He actually can't cross this river on horsefoot, so he's going to have to go all the way around.
Most people would say on horseback.
I like horsefoot.
Okay.
The Black Riders, they ride their horses a little differently, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
You do really good for somebody who's not a native English speaker. I mean, that is the kind of thing I've heard a foreigner say, because maybe it's different in their language, that phrasing, but
I speak
Kansas.
Anglo-Saxon, okay?
Old Anglo-Saxon, where they rode on horsefoot.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you're riding on horsefoot, you're dead.
Not unless you're a Black Rider, in which case you won't die. Yeah.
Okay. So they escaped. They got across the river.
Yep. And Mary's with them now, and they're all going up to Buck Hill and Brandy Hall. Just a big old hill full of the bucks.
Brandy bucks. Bucks.
So,
there's a little Hobbit history in the chapter.
Yeah. The great houses of Westershire. This is one of them. They own this land.
They made their money in sauce.
Worcestershire sauce, yeah. And there's this guy basically founded an independent country that just happens to also be part of the Shire. And then they're like, you know what we need? Second dinner with Fatty.
Yeah. That's
the name of his podcast.
Second dinner with Fatty. That could be the name of my podcast. That's what we should have called this one.
Well, we didn't know. We were young and foolish.
No, there's a little bit of lore here in that the Brandy Bucks, they know they needed some kind of defense. So we had joked before about a Hobbit fence or a Hobbit wall being like knee high and not much of a challenge. But no, they did a little better than that. It's a little taller than that. Unfortunately, it is a hedge.
It's called the High Hay? Is that in the book, or did I just get that from a wiki? I don't remember seeing it in the book.
No, it's called something.
The
that sounds
High
right.
Hay.
Yeah.
They
It's
grew
big
a
hedge.
hedge. Yeah. It's like they wanted to keep their neighbors out and like not peeping on them.
It would be really inconvenient to try to ride a horse through a hedge.
Yeah. But they also have a north gate with guards that are posted round the clock. Mary
did mention they're easily frightened.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that's the easy way to go, and that's probably how the Black Rider is going to get into Buck Hill.
It does sound like a male stripper. Like if I were to strip, I think I could do worse than Buck Hill.
Buck Hill? Yeah? It's better than Fatty.
Well, you're giving Fredegar Bulger a hard time.
First of all, his last name is Bolger. He never stood a chance. This poor bastard. I'm so sorry. It's just like how Bomber, it's just like he's a bomber. It's
okay.
He never stood a chance.
He's an underrated character in my opinion.
Yeah, in the sense that he doesn't even exist in the movies.
Well, that is about as underrated as you can get when Peter Jackson forgets your existence. One might say it would hurt, and one might wonder why so much. Because it was real. Or because it wasn't. Think about that.
Ooh.
Think about that. So there's a hedge that's going to delay the Black Rider for easily 15, 20 minutes. And
yeah. You can't jump over that. I've played The Legend of Zelda. It's only over the little metal gratings that you can jump your horse.
Yeah. So you're gonna want to get second dinner, and you're gonna want to get a bath. There's a whole bathtub scene. There's a bathtub song.
Very extensive bathtub scene and song, and Frodo's like, I guess we have to take turns, and then Mary's like, no, Frodo. There are 3 tubs.
3 tubs.
And the first thing I thought of was, what was it? 2 friends in a tub, 5 feet apart, so we're not gay? Is that...
2 bros sitting in a hot tub. 3 bros sitting in 3 separate hot tubs, 3 rooms apart because they're not gay.
Yeah.
I've literally sat in a hot tub with more men than these hobbits have, and I'm sitting here saying what they do is a little weird. But, like, who am I now?
I assume you had clothes on in that hot tub, though. I do not assume the same of these hobbits.
Well, no, they were cleaning from the road.
Yeah, they were cleaning.
Yeah.
They weren't there to just relax. They had a job to do. You got to scrub behind those ears, wash them hobbit junk.
I was waiting. Yeah, I was not. I had a feeling that you just
I thought you were
wouldn't
just
have
going to
ended
keep
there.
going. I thought you were going to just cut me off. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm going for it now.
No, I was going to let you talk about hobbit cheeks. That's not my my
Yeah, I'm guessing it's hairy just like their feet.
Just like their feet.
So
and calloused.
Yeah, and also Pippin, why do you know Bilbo's favorite bath song?
You're asking an interesting and important question that I've never thought about. I don't know.
Oh God, I'm dying now.
I will consult the lore master of Gondor.
Okay. So this is where his friends are like, yeah, Frodo, we know that you've been meaning to leave this entire time. We all figured that out a long time ago. We've got ponies packed. We've got provisions packed. Like, we're all ready to go with you. And by the way, this isn't like your choice. We're going with you.
So first off, Merry is awesome in the books. Pippin is pretty much Pippin. I think the movie's got Pippin right.
Unfortunately, though, these are more ponies, and we know what happened to the last ponies. So I don't know about this one, Ben.
I do not remember what happens to these ponies, and that is filling me with doubt now that I think about it. So right now, okay, we'll put them on the board. We got 5 ponies on the board. 4 that they're riding, and 1 is a baggage pony. So it's 4 on the board. We'll see what happens. Or 5 on the board. We'll keep track of them. We'll make sure all of them get to Bree safe and they're stabled and presumably loved forever by someone who needs them.
Absolutely.
Or they're murdered by Black Riders. It's really one or the other. So one of the things I thought was immensely funny, I forget about this chapter a lot.
Yeah, because it's not in the movie at all.
It's not in the movie. And to be honest, I know the first time I read The Hobbit, I was like, I don't care. I don't know who these people are. Like
I don't know why Pippin knows Bilbo's favorite bath song.
That really didn't occur to me. I think to my shame, the first time I read Fellowship of the Ring, I skipped all the songs because I thought they were kind of lame. I've since learned better.
Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo, Ben.
Mm-hmm. Old Tom Bombadil. He's in the Rings of Power. I hear everybody loved it.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
Would Bombadil again.
So they don't know
but
exactly.
What I wanted to say, the thing that made me laugh is when Mary's explaining this to Frodo.
How he knows how Bilbo.
Frodo's sitting there like, oh, I'm agonizing over this decision. And Mary's like, well, would it help if I maybe revealed some of it for you? And Frodo's like, okay. And he's like, so you're leaving, right? It's all about, blah, blah, blah. It's all about this ring and everything. He's like, how could you possibly know any of this? He's like, well, Frodo, we had a couple of subtle and clever ways, but the biggest hint that tripped us off that something was wrong was how you kept like walking around the Shire and wistfully staring out at landscapes and going, I sure will miss it. I'll never see this bar again. And it's like, you were talking out loud. Like you said that.
That wasn't an internal monologue. That was you. That was you verbalizing that.
Yeah, you said all of these things, and you've been doing that for like months. And so then we just decided to have Sam start spying on you. And Sam told us all about the ring.
Up until Gandalf
told him not to tell anyone. Then Sam honored the letter of the promise, if not the spirit. And so yeah, we're going to come with you. We know all about it, except Fatty. Fatty's not going to come with you. But this is why Fatty Bolger is an underrated character. Fatty Bolger, and this also made me laugh. Fatty Bolger is going to remain behind, and he's going to impersonate Frodo so that the Black Riders don't think he's left. And I'm just sitting there thinking of the character called Fatty Bolger. He tells Frodo, he's like, yeah, and I'm going to pretend to be you. I even took some of your old clothes. I'm just going to wear them around. And Frodo's not like, oh, you think they'll fit?
Those will fit?
You guys all think that he can pretend to be... Frodo's just looking down at his gut like, wow. Oh boy. Yeah.
He'll lose it by the end of this adventure. Don't worry.
You're like, well, this is a wake-up call.
Days. Yeah.
Nothing but elven whey bread and water from me.
My thought was, you're gonna make the writers think that Frodo never left until they stab you, like.
Well, that's why Fatty Bolger is an underrated character, because arguably much bigger risk.
Yeah, because they know roughly where Frodo is going to be.
I imagine Fatty Bolger's plan is to pretend to be Frodo until the very moment the Black Riders show up, at which point he's going to be like, never heard of him.
Yeah, I just got this other guy's clothes. I don't know.
Like Frodo's name's monogrammed on the shirt.
I can't read.
This was at Goodwill. He donated all his clothes to the Hobbit Goodwill.
You are glossing over one funny thing as well.
Oh.
Mary knew about the ring, not just because, Sam said, but...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a good one.
Mary's walking down the street. He sees Bilbo, and Bilbo's like, oh, God damn it, it's the Sackville Bagginses. And then Bilbo just disappears. He uses the most powerful magical artifact in the world to avoid his cousins, who he just didn't want to talk to.
Bagginses. And I did love how they're like, you even sold Bag End to the Sackville Bagginses, goddamn their hearts. And I'm like, I love to hate the Sackville Bagginses. It's like a rival football team. It's like Tolkien has created like the perfect punching bag in the Sackville Bagginses. There's nothing good about them. Like, everybody talks about how, like, oh, it's so cheesy that Sauron is this outside evil. It doesn't explore like the actual evil that actually exists in our world. And I'm like, no, because we have the Sackville Bagginses.
Yeah, they're already there.
That's your Cersei Lannister.
They're the final villains, because
that's
come back
Aragorn's tax policy.
There you go.
Yeah,
because when Sauron is defeated, the Sackville Bagginses are still there.
That's right. Yeah, they thought the journey was over, but they forgot about the Sackville Bagginses. That's not even a joke.
No, it's not.
The whole point of the story is fuck the Sackville Bagginses.
So Frodo is aware, like, okay, we're all going to go together. We could probably wait till first light because, it's a really high hedge. Okay.
Yeah, it's long, too. It's a big hedge. It's a big hedge and it's a big river.
Yeah.
The only way they'd be able to make it by morning is if there's some kind of, like, demon that never sleeps or eats. Some sort of immortal ghost creature.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Gandalf would have told me if that was the case.
Yeah. Or Inglorion or whatever would have told me, No one would just leave me in the dark about the danger that I'm facing right now.
It would be irresponsible not to tell me if I was being chased by an immortal ghost lord.
2 of them, at least. He does in this one confirm at least 2 of them are in the vicinity, and we don't know how many more. The road is going to be watched, and so we're going to go through the old forest. Solid plan. Nothing bad will happen. We're going to go through the old forest. They won't be able to follow us because it's a forest, and it's old, and there's a hedge in the way too. You have to go through the secret path into the old forest. How are they even going to do that? So they can't. So they go to bed, and Frodo has an odd dream about a white tower and the sound of the sea and a dark, deadly forest. What's all that about, Ben?
Yeah, I had forgotten about the dream, and I was actually kind of wondering that as I was reading it myself.
Oh.
There's a couple of towers. Saruman has a tower. I don't know if it's white. I kind of wondered if he was talking about, the Grey Havens, maybe?
Yeah, I wondered, because it sounded like maybe a lighthouse or something. You have to climb to the top to see the sea or something.
At the Grey Havens, they have a Palantir.
Oh.
And
you should look into that.
The Palantir, the Palantir, the way they work is they're magic seeing stones. So they've got 2 powers. They can show you far distances, but you kind of have to hold them up and look in the direction you want to look. I think they can also look through time to some extent, so you can look at a location back in time. And of course,
it's not just a magical communication device.
Well, they can do that too. They can communicate.
Can you decide which mode you're in so that you don't accidentally stare into the eye of Sauron?
You can choose not to communicate. But
Pippin immediately communicates with him.
Yeah, I don't. It's the one where the movie has muddled my memory. I remember exactly how that goes. Sauron might be able to command Pippin, the weak-willed, but I don't think Sauron could command Denethor to tell him anything. Denethor has been using the Palantir, and he's not revealing huge secrets about Gondor or anything. You don't literally see into somebody else's mind. You have to still talk. You still have to will your thoughts across. But the reason I mentioned the Grey Havens have a Palantir is because what?
So they can get in there and taunt Sauron. No, I'm looking at Frodo's dream. What does it mean? And answers are I'm not going to spoil it. Just file it away. Savor the first read. Just I'll tell you about it when you're done. It's a foreshadowing. You'll find out more later. It's I'm asking a direct question. What the fuck is that dream?
It's probably the Grey Havens.
That's what I'm guessing too, because the sea is there.
The sea, he's feeling the calling of the sea, which usually means to go west in these books, whenever somebody hears the call of the sea. The Palantir is presumably in a white tower at the Grey Havens, and it looks out west, and the elves use the Palantir to communicate with their kin who have gone on to the west.
And then they turn around to communicate with Sauron, and they're like, fuck you, we're out! Later, idiot!
Círdan is holding up a middle finger and jumping backwards onto a boat.
This person thinks that the tower is Emin Beraid, located in the west of Eriador, the Tower Hills. I don't know what any of this is, Ben, but it sounds important.
We will figure out. We will table Frodo's dream, and we will figure it out in real time, because I'm not going to cheat. I'll be real honest with you guys. To me, it's I forgot about this dream. So I'm going to say it sounds like the Grey Havens, but
that's my guess too, because of the
this is something I'll have to rediscover on my reread. Something I did not pay a ton of attention to the first time. I'll be real with you. I'm an elf lore guy, if that wasn't apparent.
Yeah. You got the Nordil. You've got Noldor. I was close.
Nordil. In early drafts, he calls them gnomes.
Oh, and then those just became gnomes in D&D, so...
Kind of. Yeah, you can see that's where they came from. I did say I wasn't going to talk about elves in this episode, and I am watching the clock.
Well, that's the end of this chapter, Ben. So unless you've got something else, then you've gone over 20 minutes, but not over 30. All right, anything else, or are we wrapped?
Nope, I think we wrapped. So Sam, Frodo, Merry, Pippin, they're heading into the forest with 5 ponies, 5 innocent ponies.
Delicious ponies.
Ponies who only have 1 week left until retirement. They're going to spend more time with their family, really get to know themselves.
Maybe they'll sail west. That's a popular thing that we're doing.
You're that like old man who's mad that all these non-elves are moving into his neighborhood. Oh, I guess just anybody can come to the west now. You know, back in my days, it was a nice neighborhood. Didn't have hobbits, dwarves. My God.
The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road is gone, and I must follow it, if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet. And whither then, I cannot say.